Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Quick video today. This is my FNX-45. I really like it. Still having the same issue with it where it is like double feeding, or it's just not double feeding. It's kind of like light striking and like almost full auto firing. Still trying to work that out of like how I'm going to fix it. But at the moment, I'm going to be doing something which I definitely want to do on this, which is putting the red dot or the optic on here. Now, when I bought this from Evike, this is like their Cerakoted version, which I love. I have to say, I really, really like it. I could not find something that would fit on here. Now, it is a like specialized like plate or whatever. So I managed to get one of these, which is meant for the FNX-45, and I had to buy it from RedWolf Airsoft, who are based in Hong Kong. It took a couple of weeks to come, so this has only just arrived, but this is basically going to be a plate which will allow me to put an RMR sight on there, or an RMR-based sight. The sight that I actually went for was one from CVLIFE. Now, this is a cheaper like sight that you can get. It's not really real steel. It's not a repro. But I kind of saw this and I was like, I quite like the design of it. Nice big window on it. I actually have done a couple of reviews. They did actually send me something for free. I bought this myself, but I've done a couple of reviews on their stuff. And actually the first ones that I bought from them weren't like, it's almost like they can do like a very cheap, like $30 like sight that's going to go on an airsoft rifle, and it worked fine, but it was just kind of very cheap and like the cheap option. So I've always had like a bit of a negative association just with their branding on the side. With this one, we're gonna check it out. I can actually rub it off, I think. No, I can't. With this one, I actually just thought it would look quite cool on here, like the design of that sitting on there and the window being the height it is. So what we're going to do today is just do a quick install. It's not going to be a kind of very busy one. I actually ended up in the previous video cutting a hole in the bottom of this Omni holster, and I'm at the moment running this little G&G suppressor on there just so that I can play indoors, because it allows me to have that tracer functionality. Obviously, I have got the TLR1 HL on there, which is what allows me to fix it in, but there is enough space here to put a red dot or a micro sight on here. So what we're going to do is put it on. So let me get this should be a pretty easy one in terms of like getting it done. I always say that and then it takes far too long. Let's take the magazine out of here. I'm not going to take the rail off. I'm going to keep it on for this. I don't think we need to do that because it's just a plate, and so I shouldn't need to mount anything from underneath. I do need the correct size of hex key though, and this is not, oh, that is right. I just put it in the wrong way. But it should just be removing this plate from the top here, taking this tiny little screw out. That thing is minuscule. Almost like, how does that bite in is what I'm thinking, but apparently it does. I do like actually how it is on this, that they've not Cerakoted that and they've Cerakoted the rest of the sight, and then it exposes this top rail here. This should, I think in theory, just slide into place there. So that's what we need to do. I need to secure this to the rail with screws that are going to come with this plate. And this is the ones that came with the sight. So we're going to do these ones, I believe. Looks like they've given me a couple of O-rings here. Oh. And I think we're going to be using these smaller screws. To be honest, these actually might fit in there. That will fit in there. So they've given me a couple of O-rings, and then they've given me these small screws, and these are actually the same size as the ones that I just took out. So what I'm actually going to do quickly is grab, I'm just going to grab some thread lock, because I know that that's what I'm going to need to do, because I don't want it coming off. So 1 second, I'm going to grab that. Okay, so I've got my thread lock. I'm just going to put this on the newer screws just because I feel like these are meant for the plate they've given me. Put a tiny bit of thread lock on. Okay. Right, that's there. It should be the same size. Yep. Okay, that's going on there. I'm going to put some thread lock on this guy. Just a little dab. I'm using the low strength. I could use maybe a more solid strength on this. Sorry, that was my kid walking in because he needed his bike helmet and his bike. So I can't really say no to that. I'm like, okay, yes, I'll get your bike for you. Okay, so these screw in nicely. I'm going to do them firmly, but not too tight because I do have some thread lock there and I don't want to strip anything. Then what I need to do is actually remove these screws off the top here because this comes on a Picatinny rail mount. So you could use this on a rifle or something else. So I'm going to get this out here. I think these are going to be the ones that I need. I've actually slightly twisted this screw head. Okay, so that's a long one. I think hopefully we can use the same size. Okay, so that should just sit right on there. Well, that was a good test for it. I dropped it on the floor. We haven't cracked it, so that's good. I actually think first I should probably put a battery in this thing, shouldn't I? I need a smaller... No, I don't. I can do it with this. Okay, so it's going to take a CR, I think 2032 battery. It comes with one, which is good. This is actually a 1632, so it's a smaller one. It's going to be interesting to see whether I like this sight or not. Price-wise on this, let me just check that for you. Should have checked that before I did the video, but the price on this guy, it's called their WolfCovert full-sized optic, and it's $103. So it's not like cheap, as in like a $30 sight, but it's not nearly as expensive as some of the ones that you'll spend a lot more money on. You know, some of these you can spend up to like $500–600 on a real sight. So for me, if it's a pistol, it's not quite as like necessary and needed. Okay, so that's on, and I'm really impressed with that. I need to take that sticker off, but it's a really nice clear green dot. I went with green to match the actual replica. That's an annoying sticker. It's one of the stickers that like sheds off. But this should now go on here. Let's see if this is going to be the same. I think it is. And this has actually got some thread lock on it. I might do an extra thread lock. Actually, I think this might be slightly too long. Yeah. They're going to be too long, I think, these ones that it came with, so I'm going to go for something smaller. Let's go with a... see if they've given me some other screws here, so we'll see what we can put on this. They've given you a lot of screws here. I mean, like, if the battery on this is really good, then I will definitely recommend this, because like the actual quality of the clarity of it, and also like how wide the window is, like it's a good sized window. Just see if these are going to be a better size. It's a good size window, so you know, it's obviously not got your real still like branding on it that I think a lot of people will want. Again, this might be slightly too long. I can secure it more. We'll go with this. I'm just going to put some thread lock on this and then we'll go with it because I think this is going to almost be a perfect length, it seems like. So I'll put some thread lock on these and then we can put them in. Oh no, this has got thread lock on it. So it's got the kind of like pre-thread thread lock. So we'll leave it with that. I'll not do a too tight one. So I'm just going to kind of tighten that nicely. Then I'm going to do a proper tighten. Hopefully this just locks down in place here. That feels solid. That feels solid. Okay, so I've turned up the brightness on that, and that is where we are. You can see there, there's no distortion. The glass is super bright. Like getting to the edges, there's no distortion. Again, it's not one of those ones where it's trying to copy something. Again, it's almost like that SRO style. One thing is, it does look like there's almost like a slight gap there between the plate and the actual, I can show that to you, between the plate and the actual sight. I don't think it's an issue. Like I think it's just almost where the screw point just goes down at the lowest point there. But the actual thing is solid on there. Where's the actual magazine for it? And I don't know, I think that looks pretty cool. I think that side looks a lot cooler. It's got a 30 MOA dot. I'd potentially like to just kind of get this CVLIFE off here, which I don't think is possible. I could just kind of like paint that over and make it darker, but it would just look a bit more like an expensive optic, I think, if it is. But the build quality seems great. The acquisition is really nice. And it's super wide, so I can move my head like this and still kind of see down it with both eyes. So that is going to be the, let me just see if I can turn it off. Yep, double tap, hold it a couple of seconds and it's off. That is going to be this one. Let me just run through of the sight, because you may be looking at this and thinking, maybe I should get it. In terms of features, it says it's RMR cut, it's 28mm large lens, 3 MOA, it's shockproof. It comes with an adapter plate for Picatinny and for MOS. So actually there's an adapter plate in here. So I could run that onto a Glock, I think is where I would put that. So that's kind of cool. It comes with those. You can actually get a promotion right now, 14% off. So it would be actually be about $90, not $105. Let's see what else. They actually have a newer version of this, which I didn't realize, but that's actually $133. It says it is motion awake as well, so it wakes up. It's got the top mounted battery, so you can change that pretty easily. And that's about it. So it's got a diverse compatibility, but not compatible with the Glock 43, 43X, or 48 is what it says. But yeah, that's going to be me, guys, on this one today. I hope you enjoyed it, even though it's a short one, just kind of going through this. I think this looks very cool. You can tell me if you agree or not. But now I have basically a lot easier way of using it, which is going to be, actually seeing the red dot, green dot. I like using those now as opposed to iron sights. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you very soon on the next video. Goodbye.